Hello, everybody. It is a beautiful Thursday, and I am Tenille Hoogland. I am the host and the creator of this beautiful group that we have, and I'm thrilled to be with you today. Come on, say hello. Let me know that you're here. And if you have any questions as I go through what we're going to talk about today. So, it's this thing called muscle, and it's one of those things that we talk a lot about and we hear a lot about. You got to lift heavy. If you haven't heard about this, then go and follow Dr. Stacy Sims, and you will get to know and love what she has to say about our capabilities to lift heavy and be strong as we go into perimenopause and beyond. But I wanted to just give you the rundown on what I see in athletes and what I know some of the challenges that we have. And so, first of all, I'm going to keep things super simple and just say that there's two types of muscle fibers. It's not entirely true. There's some more like muscle fibers A, B, like it goes into a little bit more technical, but I'm just going to say there's slow twitch, there's fast twitch. You can call it type 1, you can call it type 2, but we're just going to say slow for slow to fatigue, and fast to fatigue. Slow twitch muscle fibers are those that you are associated with endurance and aerobic capacity because they're slow to fatigue. You just can keep going. Though our slow twitch is what hold us up. Like, think about all our incredible bodies that are being held up for a very long time. That is your muscle fibers that are called, like, they're slow twitch, right? They don't need to have a lot of force. They just need to have a lot of composure and tone, and they need to be holding you up. And then there's the fast twitch, and that is the one that does have the strength, and it has the all, like, think about fast twitch, and it has the force and the contraction. Now, let's think about what is happening when we start to lose estrogen, or it starts to go on that precipitous decline. We have to understand, well, what is the role of estrogen in our muscles? So we think about actin and myosin. Actin and myosin is the filament of the contraction in the muscle, and it's like a ladder, and then they come and then they pull. And it's in the myosin that we have these estrogen receptors. And so what the estrogen does is it stimulates the myosin heavy chain reaction, and we have this strong contraction. So when we don't have the estrogen talking to the little and going, sitting in that little estrogen receptor, it's just like, don't need it. Starting to, like, we don't need it. Like, what's going to happen? So this is why we start to, or one of the reasons why we start to have a lower strength, and we start to reduce in our muscle contraction and our ability to do that, and that we lose muscle mass. So when we think about muscle mass, we think about the size of the muscle, and we think about the actual the fibers of the muscle that exists there, right? So we can make it bigger, and that's called hypertrophy training, like, so that we do strength endurance. So that's coming into your 10 to 12, 12 to 15, 15 to 20 reps. This is going to make your muscle bigger. And then we have the fast twitch fibers, which are going to maintain the tonality of your actual muscle as well. And that's going to be the strength. So that's our ability to lift up things. It's our grip strength. It's our ability to lift over. It's our ability to get up. It's our ability to think about, react and respond, because it has to be, it's a fast reaction as well, like a powerful reaction. It's our ability to jump. It's ability to have speed. It's all of those things. The other thing I just want to say about what muscle, the beautiful thing about muscle and the connection to estrogen, is that we have, it supports the muscle, is supporting our, and estrogen specifically is helping for the glucose control and the tolerance and homeostasis, keeping ourselves. And like when we utilize, so in the muscle is the place where we have glycogen. Glycogen is broken down as an energy source when it can be. And so it's not when we're using glycogen or glucose, so glycogen being broke down, we're starting into that higher levels of intensity of training. So think of it like, oh, I have to start working harder. Your muscles are just like, I'm going to start pulling in this additional muscle contraction. I need to start putting more force, right? So while we're always using some aerobic muscle, we're aerobic creatures, right? We're going to be using aerobic muscle mass in slow twitch. It's a percentage of like how much more do we need to start demanding, and the faster we go, the more we're going to start demanding that faster contraction, right? And so, or that more forceful contraction. Now, that means that what is happening when we also have the lower of the estrogen, it's not just in the contraction that we're losing, we're also thinking about how that is our glucose is starting to be available and held within the muscle. So that's why things like utilizing and having nutrition immediately after, optimizing our response after exercise. That's why the timing becomes important. So let's go and talk about what's really like what I think is really fascinating here. So when we stop using our muscles, I want you to think about so like we talked about, we have that force and it's pulling on that force, right? So when we stop using it, then there's two things that can happen. We may be stopping using that force, that nice strong contraction, but we might still be doing endurance. We might still be going nice and easy and long and walking and all those things. You know, sometimes we get a little bit confused because walking, it's like in the research it's an amazing, like, and it truly is amazing, an amazing way to stay in health, right? Going nice and long and aerobic, another amazing way to stay in health. It's great. And it's a foundation of our fitness. You know, it does support things like increasing muscle or maintaining muscle mass. And now what is happening? Well, it's just like I want you to think about it as, what is the stimulus that is maintaining that muscle, right? If we're going long, and you hear about like anecdotally, we think about, that person was walking 5 kilometers a day, or, 3 miles, 10 miles, whatever it might be. And they stayed, like, they lived until whenever. Think about the stimulus of that endurance. They are maintaining a muscle mass of predominantly slow twitch. So if we are starting to lose that fast twitch muscle fiber, but we're maintaining that aerobic state, we lose our ability to have the force, but we may be able to keep some of that muscle mass. It switches, it goes from this forceful, beautiful, fast twitch, and then we may be able to keep, it may just come into and being a slow twitch muscle fiber. So that might happen if we keep using it. If we stop using it altogether, then that muscle fiber will just die. No longer. That's the decrease of muscle fiber that we want to be like particularly aware of. But now the challenge of that is that we still need to have a stimulus that is responsive to that, because if we're always just doing 1 hour walks, what do you think is going to happen? There's not going to be enough of a stimulus. Like, think of, like, we need to keep it going. And the second thing is that we will start to lose that force and the ability to respond and hold and lift and have that tension, because that is the contraction that we start to lose. So hopefully that makes sense. So what I want you guys to think about when you are doing and in the discovery of how do I utilize strength? How do I balance this endurance? I want you to think about, well, how is it that I want at the end of the day, we want to understand how can I respond to the demands that are important to me? And how do I want to be able to do things? And can I lift things that are like, can I lift my body weight? Can I lift that young child? Can I respond if I fall off the curb and hold my body weight up? Some of these things are really important as we age. And when we think about maintaining muscle mass, we can think about, okay, well, I can maintain that contraction and that force by doing and trying to maintain that the stimulus to be strong enough to say, I'm not going to lose you. And if we do start to come off of that lifting heavy and don't get into that, this is really hard, this is challenging me in a lower rep sequence, then yeah, we may be going into that slow twitch. And if we don't do that either, then we're gonna kind of lose it. And that is where muscle mass is declining. So when I asked this week, I was one of the questions I said is, do we are we losing? Like, what do you have? We have a tendency as females to have more endurance, slow twitch muscle fibers. So we absolutely we know we have an abundance of that. That's what we do really well. And what we need to come into and respond to is trying to bring in that stimulus, do hard things. Let me tell you, I have been checking out, we did on in Team Element today. So every Tuesday and Thursday, we do a live session and we come together, and uh, it's a questionable fun. Let me say that. It's a hard workout in which we really feel very, we feel good afterward, but let me tell you, it is not a comfortable place. Don't train with me if you want to get comfortable, because that's not going to happen. So we were all uncomfortable and we were doing a 20-minute threshold assessment. And my training peaks just was lighting up. So all my athletes are on training peaks and I get threshold notifications. And let me tell you, everyone, you can get faster. You can be stronger. You can keep going. You can find, if you are providing the stimulus in a safe way, you can absolutely maintain a whole lot of that muscle mass. Will it decline? Well, eventually. Yep. We for a lot of reasons. And we still can continuously be strong. So my congratulations to my athletes who just crushed it today. I'm so proud of you. I'm so stoked for you. And thank you for letting me be part of your incredible journey. That's what I have to say. So have a great day, everybody, and I'll talk to you soon.